Thank you. I actually drove in from Canada for this today, so yay. So when I was 26, I'd been working as a hostess in Japan, in Osaka, for a few years. And I decided to marry one of my customers. Yeah. He was twice as old as me, and he was a Japanese Yakuza. You might have, they're gangsters. There's a show called Tokyo Vice. You might have seen them, or... Anyway, great decision making, I know. So, speaking about decisions, this guy that I married that I didn't know very well, he wouldn't make any decision, small ones, but no major decisions, without consulting his psychic who lived in Kyoto. And apparently, she was the person who told him that I was his destiny, and she'd never even met me. So that was my first sort of suspicious, like, I'm all for mysticism, and like I have tarot cards and I have runes and I go to psychics myself, but she'd never met me, and I didn't think I was going to marry him forever. So I was not his soulmate. Anyhow, we were married for about 1 month. No, wait, why? Hang on. We were married for about 1 month when I was like, I can't live in Osaka anymore. Like, I got to get away from the clubs and the drugs and my past, and I need some nature. I need the trees. I need to get back to myself. I need to move west towards the hills of Kobe. And so I'm like, what do you think? Can we move? And he's like, well, possibly, but we can't do it without asking my psychic. So I'm like, okay, she better say yes. So we drive out to Kyoto, and we have our bag of cookies and cakes for her, and I've never met her. And she was not at all what I expected. She was pretty disheveled. She had dirty slippers. There was like dirty, sort of yellowing newspapers all up and down the hallways of her apartment. And the way my husband deferred to her, the depths to which he bowed, and I'd never seen him defer to anyone. So I was like super suspicious. Like, is he setting her up? Like, what is going on here? So anyway, we're like, is it an auspicious time to move east-west? And she had her own form of divination, which was, she had a lined notebook, and she wrote columns of numbers, just like, to me they were random, all these numbers, and she'd circle and line and circle and line and click and cluck and sigh. And after about 30 minutes or so of sitting cross-legged on the tatami, she looks up and she goes, "Mulidatta, impossible. You cannot move east-west. You will lose everything." And I'm like, this isn't the answer I wanted. So I'm like, can you recheck those numbers? And I could like feel my husband glaring at me. One does not question the higher powers. But she's like, well, she said, there's one way you could possibly subvert your bad luck, maybe, if you, every single night for 1 month, if you drive at least an hour north of where you live now and find a love hotel or any hotel and sleep there for 1 month, the gods might think that you're moving north-south. And I was like, okay, suspicion again, this is not gonna work, but I really wanna move, so let's try it. I'm like, happy wife, happy life, let's try it. And we did it. We followed her instructions exactly. And 5 weeks later, I'm unpacking my teapot in this cute little house in the hills in Ashiya, and I've got a garden, I've got a balcony, I've got a kiwi trellis. But something's still feeling off, like something's not feeling right. So I'm like, let's fortify the house. So we put 2 mounds of Lucky Salt at the front door, and then we bought these big pots of Lucky Bamboo. And he used to travel a lot, so he had this like 7-foot-tall wooden spear-wielding Indonesian couple statue. And we put that right inside the front door. And I'm like, no bad luck is getting through this. We're good. So 3 months later, the debt collectors started coming around. And I was like, okay. And then another month later, the Yakuza wives came to pay me a soft touch warning, polite and terrifying, just to let me know I was being watched. Then there was a robbery. And then my husband was kidnapped. True story. And I was left alone in that house on the hills with the salt and the bamboo and the wooden warriors, and I didn't know what I was going to do next. And all I kept thinking was, like, I married a stranger. I listened to a suspicious woman. The only mistake I really made was not listening to my gut. There we go. Thank you.